What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bourbon and Bets. I'm your host, Zach Stonerock, and joining me again today, I have the always knowledgeable, always eloquent, always deep thinking, critically thinking, Mr. Avery Cunningham.
Well, I don't know where all these kind words are coming from, Zach. Yeah, but I appreciate it. Somebody that's prickly as yourself, it's a nice surprise.
Hey, that's what I like to catch people off guard, man. That's
Yeah,
that's kind of my thing.
no, I totally see that. It's working today, so yeah, keep buttering me up, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I always appreciate you having you on here. Before we dive into to things here, obviously it's been a couple weeks since we've been on here, with the holiday weekend and whatnot. Everyone's doing some traveling, so we put the show on hold for a week. But during the Thanksgiving games, I did have a anytime touchdown scorer parlay that came up one scorer short. Our guy Devin Singletary out of Buffalo. I truly think that he probably would have got in on that fumbled snap where Josh Allen ended up actually scoring. But I mean, here we are, just another loser in the records. But Thanksgiving games were good. Avery, how was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was good, man. We spent time in Flint, Michigan, with my wife's family. It was her first time. It was my first Thanksgiving in Flint, and it was her first Thanksgiving in Flint in a pretty long time. So I was glad that we got to go up there and got to see family we typically don't see. So how was yours, man?
Well, first, I'm glad to hear that you guys are able to make it up there. I'm glad to see that you made it safely there and back.
Yeah.
Ours was good. We just recently moved over to the west side of Columbus, a little bit further, outside of the outer belt. But our families all live over on the east side, outside of the outer belt on that side. So short travel. We didn't have I don't know how far it is to Flint, probably like 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah, right around that. Yep.
Yeah, we had about 35-minute drive, so a little bit shorter drive for us. But it was a good time, man. It's always good to get some time with family and get to kind of just relax and unwind. So and watch
Nice.
football all day, man. Football nonstop from 12 until like 10:30, I think, because that last game starts at 8.
Yep. Yep. It was good day. Question: when you travel within the city, what is a long drive to you? Where like what is the minutes, like the minute or the time of estimated time of arrival? Where we're like, oh, I don't feel like going out here. What like in within the city?
So it's tough for me because I've always had jobs where I've driven like hours. Like I had so much windshield time. So like for me, I mean, a 45-minute drive is short for me. And for some people, that's a drive. So
Yeah.
I think, I'm going to go ahead and take my wife's perspective here. And I would say probably anything over about 25 minutes would probably be considered a long drive.
Yeah, we're like, oh, I don't feel like going out here. Yeah,
Yeah.
tough. But I would say maybe because if you're driving like in another town, say if you're driving to Dayton, which is like 40 minutes or something like that, you'd be like, oh, okay, this is fine. But if you got to drive that within Columbus, then it's a whole other ordeal. It's kind of like the condition in my mind, I guess. But yeah, I would probably say like anything like over like 35, 40 minutes, I'll be like, man, this I can't do this. Like, because there is areas in the city where in Columbus where you can like be in Columbus and then drive 40 minutes and still be in Columbus. So
Yeah.
like that's kind of just like, yeah, I can't do this. I don't feel like it. Like I wouldn't do it. But luckily I don't live that far off to where like far off of mankind where like, oh, I got to go 40 minutes to do something either. So
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
I'm with you. Anytime I have to drive downtown, anywhere within the actual city, and it takes so long to get there. For me, it's not so much the drive though. It's the parking situation. So if we go
Uh,
somewhere downtown and I can't, and the establishment I'm going to does not have a parking lot, count me out. I don't want to have to park in a garage and then walk a mile and a half just to get
yeah.
to meet up with some people. There's plenty of places with parking lots out there.
Yeah, or even parallel parking. Like, what if the street's busy? Like, I don't know about you, but I get anxiety when like if there's somebody behind me and I have to like parallel park. and I'm like, oh, forget it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
We got to be like an extra
Yep.
empty street.
1,000,000%. That there's just that like, and again, that's just another thing. Like parallel parking's just, I don't know. There's plenty of real estate and land out there. Let's build some parking lots, okay?
Please. But and then I work downtown, so usually I got to either find street parking or I either park in the parking garage. So like lately I've been parking in the parking garage. It's not really that far from where I have to work. Just pay $10 and then just call it a day. But
Yeah.
yeah, we don't get really reimbursement for parking either. So so it's
Hey,
no big
that's
deal.
another thing too. Like, if somebody opens a business in the city, you should reimburse your employees for parking,
You
or have
should.
a contract with the city to just let them have a parking pass for free.
Yeah, you would think, some of our business owners would do that, but sometimes that's not the case. But now that I know that whenever you have a business and it's in downtown Cincinnati, that you will do that for your employees. So,
Downtown Cincinnati, I ain't gonna be downtown
I mean,
Cincinnati.
it's the same thing. Downtown Columbus, but no, but yeah, downtown Columbus. If you have a business there, then yeah, I'm sure you will and reimburse your employees for parking.
1,000,000%. As soon as we get a studio, 1,000,000% parking is going to be free. But I'm also
Let's
smart.
go.
I'm also smart enough to open an establishment with a parking lot.
Fair enough. Or at least buy some land or something like
Right.
that where you can like use it for a parking lot. So
Right. So, but yeah, yeah. With my previous history and how much I drove around, I mean, I used to drive 2.5 hours one way, like out to the border of Ohio, multiple times a week. So
man,
nothing for me to drive an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it may be.
for sure.
Uh, well, I'm glad that Thanksgiving went well. We missed week 2, but now we're in week 13. But before we dive into that, I do just want to remind everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy the show, share it with your friends. Insightful picks. If if nothing else, if you're fading us, you're still getting value out of this. So we just appreciate everyone who does tune in and watches. Leave a comment, share your picks with us. Any questions you have for us too, don't hesitate to put those in the comments as well. We'll address those on the show. But Avery, let's go ahead and let me go ahead and let the listeners know where we are standing right now with our records. You had a really nice week 11. You finished 4-1 actually. So, and I finished, what's
I'm
that?
shooting the 5-0.
But you
But
weren't.
yeah, eventually Tutu Atwell like all of a sudden just scores touchdowns out of the blue. He hasn't done anything in his couple years in the league, but he scores a 60-yard touchdown. But whatever.
It's because he knew that you picked them.
It's possible, but hey, so, yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah,
No, you're good.
should have been 5-0.
Yeah, you should have been, but you weren't.
But I
And so
was.
that moves your record to 16-21-3. And then I went 2-2-1. So that moves my record to 14-24-2. The Chiefs let me down. Let me look back. Who else let us down here?
Yeah.
So yeah, yours was the
Saints, the Rams.
Rams. You had the under, went over. Chiefs let me down. The Vikings let me down in a big way, in an embarrassing way.
That was money line.
And then Chicago pushed. So anyway, it's a new week. It's week 13. So we are going to dive into this. You guys know the way this works. Let's go ahead. We're going to go a little back and forth. Top 5 picks for Avery and I for week 13 in the NFL. Avery, kick us off.
All right. So for my first pick, I am going to the Detroit Lions and Jacksonville Jaguars game, and I'm going to take the over 51.5 points. If you watch, both of these defenses have been struggling as of late. So take a look. Well, Lions has been struggling, on defense throughout the whole year. They had some some better weeks. They against the Packers only allowed 9 points to that struggling offense. But other than that, like they've been giving up their fair share of points. They had actually, I thought they had a good week against Buffalo on Thanksgiving Day. But I mean, at the end of the day, they still give up 28 points. The Jaguars, they've been struggling on defense as well. They're having a hard time getting to the quarterback. And with the Lions, they got one of the better offensive lines in the league. And if you can give Jared Goff some protection, and he's playing at home. I really like them to put up points. You see Jacksonville what they did last week against the Baltimore Ravens. It's one of the better defenses. Trevor Lawrence is starting to look like the number one pick. He's strung together like three straight games where like he's been looking like really good. Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, those guys have been playing. Really something to look forward to with Calvin Ridley next year. So I do like both of these offenses putting up points this game. So I'm going to take the Lions and Jaguars over 51.5.
Okay, I like the pick. I'm also playing this game. I'm not playing the total though. I am going to go ahead and take the Lions -1 here. They always let me down. They're always the one heartbreaker, but I really like what they're stringing together. Jamal Williams, almost a lock for a touchdown every week. DeAndre Swift playing better. Coming back from his injuries. But then they also get Jameson Williams coming back. I don't know, what his role is going to look like. However, I think just with those emotions, the game's at home, and then obviously they already have St. Brown out there who's been crushing it. I like this Lions team. I like the momentum that they have going forward. The Jags are also not playing horrible, but they're not playing great. I just think that this is another opportunity for Dan Campbell to lift the Browns franchise up a little bit more with another win. That's something that Detroit has not experienced a lot in the past, past few decades. I was going to say past few seasons, but past few decades. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions here -1. I think it is going to be a high scoring game. I think these teams are just going to go, back and forth a little bit. I can see this game honestly being one of those games where it's like 31-27.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, and should be one of the better games on the slate here. So also even on Jacksonville side, looks like Travis Etienne avoided a major injury, so he should be back today. So it's just like you just name all the different matchups. There's going to be mismatches on both sides of the ball. So I'm not sure if Jeff Okudah is coming back today. I know he was in concussion protocol. So I don't know I'm not sure if he'll be back. But either way, Detroit has been atrocious when it comes to guarding like number 2 or slot receivers this season. So maybe Christian Kirk can have a spike game this game. Last week it was Zay Jones who had 11 catches with over 100 yards with 14 targets. So Dougie P's just definitely going to be looking for those mismatches.
Yeah, I just looked. I don't see Okuda on the injury report, so should be good to go.
Okay. Yeah, so I'd say he doesn't really go in the slot, so he'll probably in the guard, Marvin Jones or Zay Jones. So yeah, it looks like could be a big game for Christian Kirk.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's go ahead and move on to your next pick, since I just gave my first pick as well.
All right, so unlike you, I know you love choosing Denver Broncos for the over, so I'm going with the under for the Denver and Baltimore game. If you look at the season here, surprisingly, if I told you that the Denver Broncos would have gone the under 10 out of 11 times, you probably would have thought I was crazy with the new addition of Russell Wilson. But that's where we are here in the 2022. And also, Baltimore Ravens have gone under 7 of 11 times this season. Just a lot of injuries on both sides of the coin here. Baltimore is missing Rashad Bateman, one of their better receivers when it comes to beating man coverage. Like last week, Mark Andrews dropped 2 touchdowns. Just a lot of unlucky play here on the Baltimore side. So I eventually think that that will regress, regress positively. But even if it's this game, because Denver's defense hasn't really been playing all that great. I'm just not sure if there's just lack of motivation. With what's been going on the offensive side of the ball. I have no faith in the Denver Broncos putting up. Well, I don't even know what their total is. I have no faith. Maybe like 13 points. I don't know, but I have no faith that they'll put that up. Unfortunately, and they've been injured here as well. I think Jerry Judy's coming back. I really don't care. This whole season they just, failed to just put up, a lot of points. So I'm going to take the under here, under 39 and a half.
So when somebody regresses positively, is it just progress?
Sure. Sure, Zach. We can go with that.
I like the pick. I am trying to see what their point total is. See if I can find it.
Yeah, if it looks, yeah, so it's a 9.5 spread. So sorry, I didn't feel like doing that math in my head.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm also struggling to find it. Let's not even
Yeah,
worry about
it
it.
looks like it's under 14 and a half. I mean, it's at 14 and a half.
I don't see them scoring 14 and a half.
Well, I don't see them scoring either because it's impossible to score a half point in football. But I don't
Fair
see
enough.
them.
Hey, I deserve that. I deserve that one.
Yeah,
I don't see them scoring. I don't honestly. I see the Broncos maybe scoring 9 points in this game, 3 field goals.
it would not surprise me. I
Okay.
think with Judy coming back, it may open things up a little bit. But yeah, I just don't see it happening. Too much. Too much. Too many injuries on the offensive line. You got Latavius. Javonte Williams is hurt. That's unfortunate. Latavius Murray's. He's been okay. As a starting running back. He's got the backfield to himself now. So yeah, I just don't see it. Russell Wilson is not, not been playing his best. I don't know if his teammates like him. So which would, if they actually liked him, they may play harder. But yeah, it's a bad situation over there right now.
Do you think that they could score a lot of points if they had to fly 14 hours to London and he could do high knees to warm up?
No, based on the fact that they won, but they still didn't score like a whole lot of points. Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Right. No, I'm with you. I didn't take this pick because I don't know why. I just every time I look at a Broncos game, I'm like, this is going to be the one that goes over, and it just doesn't.
Just never
So
does.
I figure I'd stay away just because of my own emotional bias. I really liked Russ when he was in Seattle. I was really hoping he was going to do well. I had high hopes for him, high expectations, and he's let me down. So I'm just going to stay far away from that one.
Fair enough.
My next pick, I'm actually going to take the Steelers -1 at the Falcons. The Steelers are starting to play some good ball. Pickett and Pickens have a nice connection that they're starting to build up a little bit more. I don't know if TJ Watt's going to be playing. I know he was questionable on the injury report. I didn't look too much into it to see what that injury was. But I mean, if he's playing, Marcus Mariota is gonna have a tough day. I just think that Pittsburgh is building up some momentum here. So yeah, I like Pittsburgh -1 here.
Um, Actually, it looks like it's flipped now, so it might be +1 now.
Oh, let me check. Pittsburgh is +1. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm take. I was going to take the -1, but I'll definitely take the +1. And now that you say that, because I didn't hear about the TJ Watt injury, I wonder if something just came in on TJ Watt for it to just flip. I
Hmm.
wonder.
Let's
I didn't know he was questionable or anything like that.
let's see what they have for him.
Yeah,
So
that was going to be one of my picks, but if TJ Watt's not playing, I might have to just change on that on this podcast here, live on the podcast. Because TJ Watt's just, he just makes that defense better. He's just a different guy, different playmaker.
so I guess it's a rib injury. that he's been dealing with for a couple of years. They said that he didn't miss any practices this week, but he also did not participate in full in any of these practices. Quote from, I want to make sure I give proper. I mean, I want to give these people all their respect, but what are we doing here? Like, there's 36 ads that popped up. Looks like triblive.com. So, I mean, I don't know how reputable of a source this is, but nothing against them. Maybe they're really big in Pittsburgh. But TJ Watt said, I've been dealing with it for a couple years now. Watt said of a rib injury. So it's something I have to get used to. It's never fun to get the rib shots and all that stuff, but it's something that I have to deal with and still try to affect the game the best I can. So I don't know. Doesn't sound like he's not going to play.
Yep. Did you say a couple years?
That's what the article says.
TJ, what are we doing, man? Yeah, Pittsburgh +1. I'm banking it.
Yep.
Take it to the bank. Let's go.
I'm pretty confident in that one as well. Now, of course, because I'm saying that, Falcons by 1 million.
But I mean, look, Atlanta's defense has been one of the worst units this year when it comes to all the metrics. Pittsburgh doesn't get it going offensively this game. I don't know when they ever will. I mean, their offense has been putting up more points these past couple weeks. 30 against the Bengals, 24 last week. Even though it's kind of a struggle bus going against the Colts. So I see that momentum keep going here. We'll see if Deontay Johnson gets into the end zone this week. He has like a billion targets, a billion catches, a billion yards, and no touchdowns. So maybe he gets that going. George Pickens, he's been playing well. Good, deep threat, and you guys can make just acrobatic catches. So I can see him going off today. Pat Freiermuth. Even they can get it going on the run game with Najee Harris, who's been playing better ever since after the bye. So, I definitely see the Steelers. Definitely see them winning this game.
Yeah, I think Freiermuth is going to have a big day today too, just because of the elevated performance that we're seeing from Pickens, and if Deontay Johnson can get going, I think some of those underneath passes are going to be open, and I think Freiermuth is going to be a big red zone target today. So, so Steelers +1, love it.
Make it.
Let's go with your number 3.
All right. This is going to be a tough pick because because I don't know exactly how this is going to go just because of the narrative here that's going on. But I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns -7.5 against the Houston Texans. We all know we don't have to go over, Deshaun Watson, his transgressions these last couple of years. But he'll be making his first start today against his former team. And it really, when it comes to talent discrepancy, I'm surprised it's not, like a 10-point spread or anything like that. So I guess I'll just take the extra points here. I'll take the -7.5. Texans. Well, both of these run defenses have been atrocious this year. We just never like Cleveland is just more confusing to me just how their defense has performed. They got Myles Garrett, they got Davian Clowney, they got Denzel Ward. So maybe they'll start being more consistent. They played played pretty good last week against the Buccaneers. So maybe this would be the week that they finally get it together here. Put it all together. I mean, in the sense, since Damian Pierce is on my fantasy team, got a big week in our league this week. If I lose, I'm going to lose my bye. So hopefully Damian Pierce goes off a little bit, but for this time, I'm going to go with the Browns, going -7.5. So.
I'm with you. Browns 7.5 as well. I was before we jumped on, I was trying to figure out how I was going to word this without, ruffling anyone's feathers. But again, taking aside transgressions off the field, and with how atrocious the Houston Texans run defense is, I think Chubb is going to have a huge day, but I also think Deshaun Watson is going to be able to run all over these guys as well. I fully expect Amari Cooper to have a huge day. Having Deshaun Watson back there, because they're going to have to load an extra guy in the box or spy Watson or do something to because he does have that extra element of being able to run the ball. Amari Cooper, huge day here. I do think the Browns are going to win. I think they're going to win big. I don't know, 13, 14-point victory here.
Yeah, I think that Jacoby Brissett has been playing well this year. He is a starting quarterback in the NFL. If he goes somewhere else, he'll probably compete with like a rookie or something like that. But I mean, we're not going to. I don't think we disagree that Deshaun Watson is probably the better player. If you watched his preseason, he did look rusty. He's been like looked like a player that hasn't playing a football game, in a while. So I do like Chubb here and even Kareem Hunt to splash a little bit this game. Just get the running game going. Get some easy throws for Deshaun so we can catch. So he can get used to that speed of the game again, because it's just got faster probably since he left. So I do like the Browns here, just based off just based off like how well they run the ball and how bad that Texans can stop the run.
Yeah. Hot take here. Amari Cooper, 2 receiving touchdowns today.
Ooh. And is Derek Stingley playing today?
I don't think so. Pretty sure he's listed as out, but let me double check.
And on top of that, have you seen Amari Cooper's his home and away splits?
I have not.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought I
you
sent
sent him in the message, I think.
yeah, like he was like so like well he kind of he's ever since did the Buffalo game in Detroit, does that count as a home game or as a away game?
Technically, they were away.
Okay, and he is in the dome, so I can see that happening. 2 receiving touchdowns, I can see it.
Stingley is out.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it.
Yep,
I can see
two
it.
tuds from Amari Cooper.
Wow, I can see it. Let's go.
All right. Well,
I mean,
since
yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
mirroring your pick, there is back to you, man. Pick number 4.
geez, so you went -7.5 Browns too.
Yep.
All right. So I guess for my last pick, and
You should
I
have
don't
2
know,
more
man.
picks, I think.
No, I went Pittsburgh plus 1.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Does it seem like there's like could be like 3 or 4 like AFC or conference championships and like Super Bowl previews this week?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just like even with the Dolphins, Niners, like a long shot, Jets and Vikings.
Titans,
Uh,
Eagles.
yeah, I mean it's a lot. I mean, so it's kind of tough picking this week. But for my last pick, I'm going to take the Eagles over the Titans. So I got Eagles -4.5 against the Titans. This is going. We got Jordan Davis coming back here. So that's going to be key for the Eagles to stop the run, because they haven't been able to stop the run as of late, ever since he's been out. So with him, in additions of Laval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, so they should be better at stopping the run. However, with the Titans, Ben Jones, their center, is coming back this week, so that should be a little bit of uptick from the running game for them as well. But also just like the passing game for the Eagles here. I could see AJ Brown with the revenge game. I don't know if how much you guys are into narratives. I can see him having a big game, since Titans haven't been having a tough time stopping deeper passes. They're like one of the bottom 5 teams when it comes to deeper passes. So I can see AJ Brown having a good game. You see what T Higgins did to him last week. So just another physical receiver, physical fast receiver. So yeah, I do like the Eagles here, just based off the passing game matchup.
Yeah, this one, that was a tough one. I stayed away from it. I was leaning Eagles just because of the deep ball threat and how much Tennessee seems to struggle a little bit more with that. It's just so hard to go against Derrick Henry, even though he's playing against a very good defense. If he gets going, I mean, it's tough to stop. He builds a lot of momentum for that team, but I think the Eagles are the overall better team here. It's just hard. It's hard to bet against Vrabel. He, defensive minded guy, somehow seems to figure some things out. Just can never win the big ones, and I do think this is going to be another one where he loses. But I don't know. I don't. It's tough. I mean, I could also see the Titans winning this game, or I could see the Titans keeping it close enough where it's a field goal. So I thought 4.5 points was just a little bit too much.
I can dig it. Just with how the Eagles are like have been playing. They've been scoring a lot. Don't really turn the ball over. They'll create turnovers on defense. So it's just a tough matchup on both ways. It's gonna be really physical football being played. If you close your eyes, you're gonna hear a lot of pads being popped. So was one thing I'm excited about. I don't really have red zone or anything, so I just pretty much watch whatever local game is on. So, but yeah, look, whoever watches this game, you should be able to enjoy it. It's gonna be slugfest.
For sure, for sure. My last pick, Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to continue to own the Chicago Bears. I'm taking the Packers -4.5. We are going to get a Nathan Peterman start, I believe, as Trevor Simeon's also on. No,
I think they're talking about Justin Fields being able to play today.
really?
Yep.
Oh well.
If Nathan Peterman was starting, I would have hammered the
That's what I was
Packers.
thinking. I was like, man, 4.5 seems very low. Let's take a look. What are they saying for? Oh, Justin Fields is not even on the injury report. Oh, that's a big miss on my side. Yikes.
So
I'm sticking with it.
stick with it. All right.
I'm gonna stick with it. I like what Christian Watson's been doing. I am a little concerned about Aaron Rodgers with his thumb injury, and just how bad the Packers have really looked all season. With they've had a few glimpses of being a good team, but they're few and far between. But all that being said, I know I'm taking the Packers here, so I just think that this is going to be a nice little get right game for them. If they want to have a chance at having a winning season, they have to win out, which I don't think is going to happen. But I do see Christian Watson having a huge game here as well. I don't know if Justin Fields is going to be 100%, even if he is playing. So that's another factor in there. Go ahead and give me the Packers -4.5, and let's just hope Justin Fields doesn't run for 175 yards.
Yeah. All in all, I do still like the pick. Just based off of how the Packers have beaten the Bears continuously for however long. Both the Bears are tanking on defense. They trade away two of their better assets. And they've just been haven't really been good on defense for the past couple of weeks. Yeah, I do like Justin Fields here. Green Bay has been having a hard time stopping the run themselves. So I don't with his injury, I don't think he'll run as much. So they'll probably rely on passing. Darnell Mooney will be out, so they're going to rely on Chase Claypool, some of their other guys that they got on at receivers. So yeah, I still do like the pick here. I don't know how healthy the Packers are on defense as well, but I think they should squeak out. They should cover. So
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that wraps up our picks. You want to go ahead and give a recap of what you got on the slate for today?
yeah, so I got Detroit, Jacksonville over 51.5, Denver, Baltimore under 39.5. I got Pittsburgh +1 over the Atlanta Falcons, Cleveland -7.5 over Houston Texans, and I got Philadelphia -4.5 over the Tennessee Titans, which I probably should have went a different way, but hey,
No,
it's pen to the paper. Pen to the paper.
it's
I got another pick that I probably should have went with. Now I'm looking at it, but it's okay. Pen to the paper.
what is that pick? Just so we can know if it would have been good or bad for your record.
This has been the Chargers and Raiders over what 52.5, I think.
Let's take a look.
49.5. Oh my gosh, I should have took that for sure.
Uh, Yeah, you definitely should have. I see Josh Jacobs is questionable. I don't know much about what's going on with his injury, but I think that could be a factor if he's not 100%.
Yeah, both defenses been struggling. That's over for sure. 49.5. I should have took that one. But pen to the paper. Let's go.
I'm gonna write that down though, just in case, just so we can revisit it.
For sure. Fair enough.
All right. And then on my side, this is actually weird for me because this is the first time I didn't take a point total in a while. But I got the Vikings -3 versus the Jets, Steelers +1 at the Falcons, Lions -1 versus the Jags, Browns -7.5 at the Texans, and then Packers -4.5 at the Bears. If you were to parlay all 5 of my picks, it would be plus 2,627. So $100 bet wins $2,627. If you don't like to risk that much, if you want to put $10 down, you'd win $262, which isn't a bad return on your investment for a $10 wager. So,
And I don't recall you talking about the Minnesota Vikings, not Minnesota Vikings and Jets game.
oh,
Yeah, so
was that not my
you didn't mention that one. No.
oh, okay. I
Well,
felt like I was missing one. Okay, well,
yeah,
let me circle back.
yeah. So yeah, if you want to go
Anyway,
on
yes, let's go ahead and at the very top of my list.
that.
I have the Vikings -3 versus the Jets. I like how the Vikings are playing, with the exception of that Dallas game. They're looking good. Kirk Cousins is playing extremely well. Obviously, Mike White came in, did a little Mike White magic, but I don't think that magic is gonna hold up long term. I do think that if the Jets were um, I don't want to say smart because that's a very like insulting word, but if the Jets were smart, I think that they would ride Mike White out the rest of the season, have Zach Wilson kind of carry the clipboard, get some mental reps in, have a better understanding of the game. I know they said his time in New York's not done, but I don't think that it would be smart to bring him back in this season. And then mess up the continuity of the team. Let's have Mike White finish the season. Mike White showed last year some glimpses of being a capable quarterback. So I like the Vikings here. I'm actually shocked with it being in Minnesota that the spread's only 3 points.
A couple things here. I mean, I see why you chose this, but I faded it. Just because of how the Vikings play on defense. They don't really guard. They don't really. They're not really in man coverage a whole lot. I think they're like at the bottom when it comes to cover one, cover zero. So it's going to be. So it's going to be. I can see Garrett Wilson having a good game. Find those soft spots in the zone, and his ability to create after the catch. So I can see him having a good game. I think that I want to say that the Vikings are, and now this may be just because of the Tony Pollard game, that they're one of the bottom teams when it comes to guard defending running backs out of the backfield when it comes to catches, all that stuff. I think you look at the game last week. Mike White went to his targeted his running backs high percentages in his throws last week. So I could definitely so it's definitely a different matchup. And even Justin Jefferson is going to get his, but it's going to be tough sledding going against Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed out there. I mean, I could definitely see. I could actually see Dalvin Cook having a big game this game. I don't know why. I just feel like he's due. So I can see. Yeah, I just kind of faded this one. But just with like the injuries on the Jets side of the ball, when it comes to running back, offensive line, I can see Minnesota also being able to create pressure. But Mike White has been, he was solid last week, even though it was against the Chicago Bears defense, who's been taken, as I previously mentioned. Also, another question I have for you: do you see Zach Wilson taking the Josh Rosen route here, getting traded, being on, constantly being on practice squads? Because I could totally see him being on the Buffalo Bills practice squad next year.
So like that thought has kind of popped in my head, a few times. I don't want to answer that because I don't want to wish that on the guy.
You would not want to wish it because that was your rookie of the year choice?
Yeah, I mean that's partially what it is. I mean, I don't want to look back and be like, wow, what a horrible pick. Although it turned out to be not a great pick. Um, yeah, I don't I think he has a lot of maturing to do when it comes to being a professional football or NFL quarterback. I don't think he's quite there yet. I think the issue is that he doesn't have. I mean, actually, I was about to just disrespect Joe Flacco there. I was going to say he hasn't had an opportunity to learn from a good veteran quarterback, but Joe Flacco's been there. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's just like, yeah, I want to look at the metrics here just, but yeah, I think it has something to do with his maturity. He's got the talent. He's got he got arm strength. He got to be more accurate, I would assume. But it just hasn't been working down there. Mike White, he's come in, he's completely unlocked Garrett Wilson. Elijah Moore scored off of, he didn't have that many snaps, but he was able to score a long touchdown. So maybe Corey Davis can pop off this game. So he's going to be able to give the receivers a better chance to make plays as opposed to Zach Wilson at this time.
Yeah, I think the a major difference is the level of pressure and expectations. Zach Wilson being, such a high pick and, high draft pick. And then you got Mike White, who's just coming in like no one's holding him to that same standard. Obviously the Jets want him to win games and the fans want him to win games, but he wasn't a first round pick. He wasn't a first overall pick. There's a lot less expectations there for him. So he's just going out there and playing football. Whereas Zach Wilson is, carrying the weight of I'm supposed to be the future of this franchise. So I think that again, because I don't think he has that professional maturity yet, I think that that's, really impacting his performance.
I can see all those things. Yep, I can see it. It's unfortunate to see. Justin Field, he went over, got drafted over Justin Fields, Mac Jones. So those two have been having a better career than him at this point. So we'll see if he turns it around or if he'll just be on practice squads. Just shuffling practice squads and
Well,
become the journeyman practice squad player.
I wish I could be.
Yeah,
Yeah, go and give me that. Give me
yeah,
the
for
Alex
sure.
Moran route. Um, all right, so that's going to wrap up this week. Avery, you got anything else you want to hit on with this week in the NFL?
Um, no, man. It's just should be some good games on this weekend. Like I said, looks like a couple potential Super Bowl matchups. You got Miami against San Francisco. So Mike McDaniel was with San Francisco last year. Going against his former team. So that's going to be a good game. Kansas City versus Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be a really good game. We see like both of those games ended up game-winning field goals from the Bengals, of course, because they are the better team. And then you got a couple high-scoring games here. You got Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers. You've seen what those two games were last year. So that's going to be probably another wacky game, another high point total. Even Detroit and Jacksonville, high point total, darn near pick 'em right now. So there's going to be a lot of good games this weekend. So hopefully there's some good football, and hope you get to enjoy some watching. And I hope wifey gets better, man.
Yeah, appreciate
I know.
that.
Sorry, guys. I know before the show he said that his Taylor was sick, so I hope she feels better.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's I do think I'm gonna be able to take in a lot of football today just because I'll be taking care of her. So bittersweet, I guess. Like it's nice to be able to sit, just relax, watch football, but I do hope she feels better. She's pretty miserable right now. The one last thing I did want to hit on for anyone in the Columbus area, Saturday what is Saturday the 10th?
Yeah.
So Saturday the 10th, I'll be, going around with another friend of ours. His name's Andrew, and our other buddy Jeffrey. We're going to be delivering food, hygiene items, clothing clothing items to 3 different shelters around Columbus. If anyone would be interested in, contributing to that event, go ahead and just shoot me a message on Instagram or leave a comment in the YouTube comments. with the best way to contact you. And, we can definitely link up. And also, if you live in Columbus and you happen to see us, feel free to stop, take pictures with us, honk, whatever it may be. Just acknowledge us for a great cause. We're, holiday season is definitely magical for most, but it's very challenging for others. So we just want to make sure that we, since we're in a good spot to in our lives, we want to make sure that we share some of our trying to think of the words here, some of our resources with those that are less fortunate. And then also Gifts and Gains is coming to a close. I put that up on my Instagram. We're helping a 4-year-old little boy named Graham who was diagnosed with leukemia. Another very successful event this year where we were able to raise enough funds to purchase all of his Christmas gifts off of his list. We're also going to be able to refund, I don't want to say refund, but reimburse his parents for the gifts that they had already bought before they were nominated. So that was nice too. And we're going to be able to provide them with a gift card to a grocery store for them to be able to afford Christmas dinner. Not that they couldn't afford it, but anytime you have a serious medical event, it does put some stress on the finances. So our goal is to be able to take a lot of that stress off their plate. So this was another very successful year. Appreciate everyone who was part of it. So just two really awesome events that we have going on. So if you have any questions or want any more details on those, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing that. I gotta hit Andrew back. I totally forgot about that. So I appreciate that little reminder. But yeah, great causes by you and Andrew. I'm totally behind both of them.
Yeah, you gonna come march with us?
I do plan on marching.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. All right, well, come see the Bourbon and Bets crew out there, walking, pounding pavement with Operation Revive.
Yeah,
so
another great podcast.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely go check them out. I know he does a lot with his family. So I think that's all I got, though. Apologize to everyone for leaving out my 5th pick, which was actually my first pick in my list here, but things are a little crazy. So Avery and I both have 5 picks. I hope that we are both 5-0 at the end of the week. That'd be really nice. I do see Amari there in the background, so tell her I said hello.
Yeah. Say hi, Amari.
Hi, Brandy.
Hello.
It's my family.
So there's Avery and his beautiful family. We're super excited for everything that we got going on. But I hope everyone enjoys football this weekend, and we'll talk to you all on the next episode. See you later.